Hi, I am here to deliver my persuasive speech, and I have one audience member. Some say that once a criminal, always a criminal. Instead of our nation having this mindset of our incarcerated population, we need to change that mindset and help these offenders get the help that they need. The jail population is crowded across America. In 2005, the United States spent $204 billion, according to Michael French, Hai Feng, Ralph Fretz, from an article from the American Substance Abuse Journal. This money was spent on incarcerating offenders, rearresting them, and providing services to them while incarcerated. According to the authors of this paper, it is hard to figure out the exact percentage, but they say approximately 50% of the incarcerated population within 5 years of being released are rearrested and put back into the system. Sadly, in America today, I am certain that drugs have affected us in our lives one way or another. Whether it is a family member, a loved one, a friend, or even yourself, drugs have been an underlying issue in all of our lives. Regardless of the situation, crimes or no crimes committed, the prison systems need to be assessed for issues on drugs so that we can ensure that our inmates that are incarcerated can receive proper counseling and rehabilitation to ensure proper reintegration into society. Throughout this speech, I will provide you with alarming facts of repeat offenders and inform you on how the system lets these inmates down, and give you some solutions on how we can change to ensure that these inmates receive the proper reintegration that they deserve. I want to first discuss a personal story. My brother, as a young boy, was thrown into the juvenile system regarding check fraud. Him and his friend had stole his friend's stepfather's checkbook and wrote checks to themselves so that they could get money for drugs. They were both arrested and thrown into the juvenile system, not on drug charges, but on check fraud. They did not receive counseling for the underlying issue. Again, later in life, my brother was arrested for credit card theft. Once again, the underlying issue was drugs because he stole those cards to buy products that he could return and get cash for. And once again, he did not receive counseling for drugs because they didn't see that he had a drug problem. They saw that he had a theft problem. Now at 33 years old, my brother is in a Louisiana state prison and serving 7 years on a drug charge. Not once as a child or as a young adult did anybody ask him what the underlying issue of his problem was, and he wishes that someone would have stepped up and helped him get the proper counseling to ensure that no other issues had arisen. I want you now to listen on how the prison system could provide counseling to prisoned inmates. Well, while in prison, the inmates should be counseled and interviewed to see what their underlying issues are. Was it drugs? Is it a mental issue? Is there something that we can do to help these inmates ensure that they receive the proper counseling? The American Journal of Psychiatry authors of this article, Jacques Belgren Ingrid Binswanger, Joseph Penn, Barrick Williams, and Mary Owen conducted a research of mental illnesses among correctional facilities. This article goes on to show how many inmates have underlying mental health issues. Back in the 1960s, when antipsychotic drugs became readily available, they started closing public mental health hospitals. And this also raised the prices on insurances to provide mental health programs to the mentally ill. This created a revolving door between homelessness and prison inmates because the mentally ill would get out and not have anywhere to go, and they weren't receiving their proper counseling and their medications, and there was lack of a foundation for them. So once again, these mental health patients would go back into the prison system. Programs that are not in place in the prison systems to start with mental illnesses. One program that was conceived, so to speak, in a Texas prison is upon pre-booking inmates, they were screened for mental illnesses so that could reduce the rate of mental illness patients going into prisons. Next, I want to look at providing rehabilitation inside the prison system. Providing drug rehabilitation classes inside the prison system can provide inmates the tools that they need to succeed. According to my visual aid, 52.4% of prison inmates are on drug offenses. Substance abuse education awareness programs, according to Faye Taxman, Matthew Perdoni, and Laura Henderson of a Substance Abuse Journal article, states that the substance abuse education and awareness is the most prevalent form of services provided in correctional agencies. This entails during their stay and then having them be on programs such as drug court and drug probation after they are released, and to ensure that they take the proper classes and steps that they need to do to become healthy. So in conclusion, I think that it is time that we focus on the underlying issues of the offenders that have prevented crimes to help the offenders get the best treatment that they need. Ensuring the proper reintegration so that the inmates can be successful, they need the proper counseling and rehabilitation so that they can be stopped from preventing the same crime over and over again. So let's help change the way people see criminals. Instead of once a criminal, always a criminal, let's ensure that they get the proper training and tools that they need to succeed in life while they're in prison. I know from speaking with my brother, he just wishes that someone, just one person, would have stepped up and helped him back into society instead of releasing him into the wild with wolves again. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.